Hi everyone, my name is Nina Lopatina. I'm a staff developer relations engineer at Unstructured, and we're going to walk through a recent blog post I wrote about integrating Unstructured with Danswer and all the different steps to get started and how we got there. So from the Unstructured website, I'm just going to find the blog to reference. And for those of you unfamiliar with Danswer, they are end-to-end RAG system for production, specifically for chatting with all of your documents. And so for this integration, we created a read any file function, and then we combined it in the Google Docs connector so that if we had something in Google Drive, we can integrate it into Danswer. And so we added this file processing step in extract file text. So we have an SDK partition request, and then we also have our function to start up the client with our serverless API and process the file and then export the data. And then we put this into the Google Drive connector function where we're using that read any file function instead of the default one they had before. We had to update the requirements, which required relaxing some of the requirements and then doing a pip freeze to see what versions are all compatible with everything, and an additional dependency in the Docker file. And then we also added our unstructured API key into the Docker Compose YAML file. And so it's really easy for you to get your own unstructured API key. You can just go to our API website and get set up in seconds. And we offer a 2-week free trial. So to get this set up, I've got my terminal window in the right here. So I'm going to go to my Git repositories directory, and I'm going to clone the repo. And then before I navigate to this directory, I'm going to copy my .env file that I have handy here to there because that's where my API key is stored. And now I've got my Docker down here. So I'm going to copy this Docker Compose function. And oh, I forgot to change directories. So now I'm going to compose my Docker. Here you can see everything is getting set up to run. This actually takes quite a while if you're doing it for the first time, but I've run this before. So it relaunches in seconds. And then I can go to location for the local host. And that takes a little bit of time sometimes to get set up. So now I'm going to connect my source. So Google Drive is where I added the integration. And so I have the credentials that I've provided in here. And I'm going to call it Office Lines because it's lines from the office. So that's a new connector that I've set up with credentials I had already put in. The other main configuration is to do a model configuration. So I've set up an OpenAI API key here to use that as my base LLM. So now if I go to this connector, it has succeeded. I ingested this one document that I have in here. And now I go to Danswer, and here I LLM, so that's not one that has access to my documents. So I could ask, what was the first line for into the office? And it's not what I was looking for. Usually it says something like, I don't know, but that's a bit probabilistic. So if I go to knowledge, that's going to have knowledge from my connected sources. So there it should have access to those lines from the office that I had uploaded as kind of a proxy for a call someone might have in their enterprise data, since we don't want to reveal anything private. So there's a weird glitch there. I had to write it again. But that's the first line of the office. And then we can ask about other lines in the office, like, what did Ellen say? Oh, so I may need to append the document so that it has better context. So that's the central premise of the first season of The Office. They can't justify a Stanton branch and a Stanford branch. What was the first line of scene 11? Just picking any scene. So there's a reference. That's the first line. Check this document before, and then we can get the response to that as well. And the response is go ahead. So I'm kind of treating this as like a call transcript that you may want to uh, investigate or make a summary of. So it knows very well what the document is and all the different lines in it. And so if you want to give this a try for yourself, check out our blog and we go through all the different steps. And I forgot the last step from Danswer from the quick start, which is to stack down the Docker deployment. So you'll want to do that to shut everything down and yeah, give it a try and let us know what you think.